Alvin Glay of Response Media.
Thank you. Good afternoon, guys. My name is Dr. Alvin Glay, and I'm the VP of Growth and Customer Solution at the agency. What I'm about to walk you through is a consumer packaged goods case study that we had with Pampers, really to grow the direct-to-consumer relationship. If you can go to the next slide. As many of you know, or may not know, that within CPG, really that relationship from a direct-to-consumer perspective with the with the retailer, not the manufacturers. And here, Pampers came to us really to, develop an acquisition strategy at scale. How do we grow their, their consumer base? And then B, how we turn those users into loyal customer and buy their products. So if you go to the next slide, really this plays into the agency strategy here in terms of from a CPG perspective, because we've done that for a number of brands. So if you look at the marketplace, there are about 4 million births a year. So you're talking about a very niche, small audience here that we needed to reach. And then every competitor in the marketplace is trying to reach that same user. So what we've done in essence is how do we drive incremental growth for the user from a direct-to-consumer perspective? And then how do we turn those users into loyal customer? Because the switching cost is so low, right? So if you're the 4 million moms a year, new and expecting mom, everyone's trying to reach them. And the cost of switching from one brand to the next is low. As a brand, how do we keep them loyal and become a Pamper user? So if you go on to the next slide, what we did, really, we try to put together, given what we do as an agency from acquisition to retention. You can move on to the next slide. What we try to do here is that design a program focus on the end user. So we like to implement, sort of a design thinking framework, which stems from, the technology adoption framework, which focuses on the end user. Value-based. It's not just advertising. Focus on their needs and wants. Create products, create content, create messaging that really the user, that addresses the user needs. So we created a mix of content, quizzes and stuff like that, educational content for the end user to really get them to not only, but they can find that valuable and keep their engagement on an ongoing basis. So what that turned into, we were able to drive over 10 million users, or 10 million moms, I should say. If you think about that, right, that represents roughly about 35% market share in terms of the addressable market, 4 million births per year. So we're super excited about the results there, really leveraging media, acquisition media, and CRM to keep those moms engaged. You can see on a per annum basis, we were able to increase, membership by 22%, increase engagement by 31%, and more importantly, we were able to increase incremental direct sales by 18%, which is huge, right? That represented a 4-to-1 return on ad spend and drove millions of dollars in incremental sales. So we were super excited about that. And you can see the quote here. We worked with Pampers about 10 years, which is, if you think about the agency brand relationship, we were extremely proud and grateful for that. If you move on to the next slide, this is more reason why from, a CPG perspective, why first party data is important. I'm not going to go through this. A lot of you know this. Let's move on to the next slide. You can see here, these are some of the brands that we work with today, executing a similar strategy to help them increase their first party data and drive sort of growth strategy for them and maintain customer loyalty. So if you need help with growth strategy, if you're in CPG, this is something we've done. Here's my contact information, and I'll pause.